Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 555, and we are continuing on with our Ray Liotta month as we discuss Copland. And of course, it is the Nerd here to host, alongside my wonderful co-host, Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a wonderful. What the fuck day is it?
Tuesday, when we're
Tuesday.
recording this.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've been in a room for the past since Friday, so I don't. Apparently, it's been raining, and I just realized that today. So,
well, I'll say you sound better, Brad.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm still a little congested. I think I'm getting through the medication. It's like a 5-day treatment, but yeah, I'm feeling less like death warmed over. So, thank you.
Well, you know what's it called? It is, the new flu. COVID is the new flu at this point, and all we gotta do is just pretty much just prepare for it, right? And um, I'm glad that you're feeling better. The first time around was easy. Second time around, huh? Now it's kicked your ass, huh?
No, it's about the same. I'm actually I'm getting through it better the second time than the first, just because the first didn't have any medicine. Because in 2020 we didn't have no fucking medicine. It was like, well, you might die. It's just like, well, okay.
That's crazy, man.
Sure.
Well, that's true, right? Because especially when you got it, I think you only had the first vaccine, right?
No. Here's the thing: is when they didn't have it open to our age group yet.
That's right.
They didn't have it open to our age group, and when I got it, they 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, they opened it up to our age group. But you can't, if you get it, you can't get it for 90 days.
That's right. Yes, yeah. I remember that rule. Yeah. Oh, that's just what a bunch of screwy. God, it's man, I'm so sorry. You got into that you went into that one raw.
I gotta say though, if I've got to go through just whatever issues with COVID it was, I'll go over through it these 2 times, because if it just keeps coming up as a head cold, hey Kylie, how you doing? But if it keeps coming up as a head cold,
sorry, I'm not looking at my comments here.
I am, because I have a giant screen. But my symptoms are just reminiscent of a head cold. Just I'm congested. Yeah. And then just the energy drain. That's really, and the energy drain is really bad. I got winded taking the trash out today, and I'm just like, how did I do this 3 years ago and 70 to 80 pounds heavier?
Yeah. Yes. Hi, Kylie. Yeah, it really does. And the thing is, when I first got it, it was terrible. The second time I got it was okay, it still feels bad, but not to the point where I'd say that that was like the first time. The third time I was like, oh, I'm pretty bad for a day, and then the next day I was like, at least I can move around and do stuff.
Well, and here's the thing is, back in the day, yeah, and Kylie's exactly right. That's exactly what it does. Luckily, it's never really attacked my lungs. It's just been like a head cold. But for Brenda, Brenda was winded. Brenda had muscle aches. Brenda got the whole swath of the bad things of COVID. And what was funny is, basically back in 2020, you were quarantined for 10 days. You were just stay home. And so I got quarantined. I got quarantined, and then so I got quarantined probably, I think it was that Friday, because it was over Christmas.
Yeah.
And Brenda ends up catching it, and I get through, basically I'm all right after 5 days, and for the next 5 days I'm just taking care of her till she can get better. And then it was during those holidays, so it worked out in some form, but it was still kind of shitty.
Yeah. And yeah, Brad. Look, I'm just glad that you're feeling better. The more vaccine, the better. You should handle it depending on your overall quality of health. And honestly, I think that also the antibodies have a lot to do with it, right? Of course, the vaccine is the antibodies, but the more I got COVID, I realized the more I was better at getting better from it. Because the last time I had it, I was like, damn, I'm only bad for 1 day.
Yeah. I also think I think it's also dependent if you have other health issues, just quality of health, Kylie said. If
Yeah.
you have other health issues involved, it can make it severely worse. Like a lot of people with diabetes were dying, and that's just because their quality of health, you know,
Yeah.
mixed with COVID, it was just not a good time.
Well, the immunocompromised, you know,
Like a
and
lot of people who were on cancer treatments and stuff didn't
yeah,
handle it well, and I mean, it was a rough time going there, especially
yeah,
in 2020, 2021.
yeah. Well, what's it called? Of course, y'all, just stay safe. Brad, have you been able to watch anything while you've been on under
What did I watch?
the
I watched Copland. Actually, I've been watching a lot of what did I watch? I watched the Yokozuna like film thing that like the I don't know because I've been like I literally like in the first day or two I was just on TikTok because I didn't want to get out of bed and I was
yeah,
just scrolling through and it was just a bunch of like it was like Yokozuna and I'm like oh I should watch this documentary and then I
yeah,
watched the Rey Mysterio Eddie Guerrero one that they had. I forget if it was Icons or whatever match. Um, but that was pretty rough. The Rey Mysterio one because he goes in how he was just down the street from where Eddie had died and he managed to get there and
yeah.
yeah.
All mixed with all the people go same. Yeah, and yeah, I think we go back. I remember it was Dan Patrick who was like, the elderly people should be like, willing to put their lives on the line to rebuild the economy, so that way they can, what's it called? Like, yeah, shut the fuck up, Dan Patrick.
I'm
Yeah,
the problem being with that is like that's great and all, but do we all want to see our grandparents? Like I get it, like some people want to see their grandparents probably die, but most of us probably didn't.
no,
I don't
no,
have any grandparents left really, so
yeah. Yeah, it's the beauty of late stage. What's it called? What Dan Patrick was saying, it was like, yeah, this is, get your late
it's
stage
better for the
capitalists out of here.
economy. You know what's
Yeah,
also better for the economy?
yeah,
You know, healthcare, living wage,
yeah.
stuff
All the things
stuff
that
to
would
that
be
effect.
nice. Yep. Non-medical personnel should not make other people mad.
Maybe
1,000 fucking percent.
maybe
You
not
1,000
spending
fucking percent.
maybe not spending like a couple 100 million on a shipping container wall just to take it down.
Yep. Well, Brad, I'm glad that you're feeling better. And today we're going to continue on with our Ray Liotta month, and we're going to look at Brad's second pick. And yeah, this is actually a James Mangold film. So if you don't know James Mangold, you know that you should know that he directed Logan, and he's also directing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So
Ooh. I'm
he
kinda
was
excited
also,
then.
yeah, he was also at one point rumored to be directing and writing the Boba Fett movie before that went under. And and we ended up getting the book of Boba Fett.
I
And
mean, are you saying I coulda had a De Niro Boba Fett?
well, maybe. I think it would still would have been Tamura, bro. Yeah. But I'm really interested to see where we go into this discussion because um I what's it called? I think that this is a very different movie from all the other stuff that I've seen, like from what I've seen Mango do. But what's it called? 1,000%. Yeah. Yep. I 100% agree with you, Kylie. 100%
Mhm.
agree with you. Yeah. So, Brad, without further ado, if you haven't seen Copland, chances are that you probably won't. But like, if you
I
still
mean, chances
haven't,
are you probably haven't,
yeah,
and we'll get into that.
yeah. But either way, you know, we're just gonna talk about spoilers. So if you care about spoilers or you haven't seen the film, get out of here. If you don't care about spoilers or you've already seen the film, stay. Either way, how any of this goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning, and it is in effect in a five, four, two, three, two, one. I I
We got
don't disagree. I
yeah, I
don't
don't
disagree.
disagree.
I don't disagree. I think he is an underrated director. I think he came to his own when he finally made Logan, where I feel like he really balanced out like his
I
style
mean
and his
it's
storytelling
just
abilities.
but reading through 310, I like 310 to Yuma.
Yeah.
That was
Oh
alright.
shit! You did 310 to Yuma, the
Yeah,
remake.
that's what well, that I just hovered over his name, that's what I'm getting. So,
Oh shit!
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he
No.
did the Wolverine too, so we kinda gotta be like,
Mm,
"Nyeh."
okay.
Gotta give him a pass since he did these other two. So he did Logan, so I guess that balances everything out.
Yeah, I'm
But
trying
we're
to
gonna
look
have
for
a
my
banner.
dog.
We got a
Yeah.
banner.
Oh shit. I'm so sorry, y'all. The banner's going up. I'm sorry. It's because my dog is in here with me, and sometimes when I don't look after my dog, they will start biting on stuff. So
That's true.
I just want to make sure that
I have the same
she's right
issue.
here. She's right here.
That's why
Brad.
Brenda's looking at dog.
Yep. Introduce us to Copland, Brad.
All right, coming from our one and only source, Wikipedia, Copland is a 1997 American neo-noir crime drama film written and directed by James Mangold. It stars an ensemble cast, they're not joking, that includes Sylvester Stallone, Harvey Keitel, Ray Liotta, and Robert De Niro, with Peter Berg, Janine Garofalo, Robert Patrick, Michael Rappaport, yes, that Michael Rappaport, Annabelle Sciorra, Noah Emmerich, and Kathy Moriarty in supporting roles. Yeah, when Rappaport showed up on that screen, I was like, what the? It's going to talk
Wow.
about the cat?
So Mangold has also directed Ford v Ferrari.
Really? Oh, yeah. He didn't he?
Yes.
That was nice. You're just
Wow.
learning a lot
Yeah.
about James
No.
Mangold today, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, even I'm gonna bring it back up. Yeah. I think Mangold is very severely underrated. But
We
yeah,
reviewed
continue, Brad.
Ford versus Ferrari, right?
I believe we did, Brad.
I believe we did because I remember I watched it.
Oh yes, we did. We did. We
Okay,
did.
I think we liked
Yeah.
it. Uh,
Yeah. I like it.
Stallone. I mean, I liked it. Stallone portrays the sheriff of a small New Jersey town who comes into conflict with the corrupt New York City police officers living in the community. The film received positive reviews and grossed $63.7 million on a $15 million budget. And most of that $15 million probably went to the cast. But
Pretty much.
already did directed, written, produced by Kathy Conrad, Ezra Swerdlow, Kerry Woods, starring, went through that. Cinematography, Eric Allen Edwards, edited by Craig McKay, music by Howard Shore. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, man. You know that
Oh,
name.
The Hobbit. That's
The
why that
Lord
name
of the
sounds
Rings
familiar.
trilogy, The Hobbit, Unbreakable. I mean, the list goes on and on. The Rings of Power.
Okay, we'll get into it, but I do have a question on that. Copland, from IMDb, the sheriff of a suburban New Jersey community populated by New York City police officers slowly discovers the town is a front for mob connections and corruption. So there's your little quote from there, and we'll do a little trivia because I did read through like the first one. I thought the first one was kind of funny. Sylvester Stallone gained the necessary weight for the role by eating a steady diet of giant pancakes served at a local pancake house. um, they do have a goof. It's kind of boring, so I'm not going to go through it. Quotes, figs. These are all goofs.
Yeah. Just give me one goof. Well, what's one goof?
So I guess it's the main one. Municipal sheriffs don't exist in the state of New Jersey. All sheriffs in New Jersey are elected at the county government level to a 3-year term and are a constitutional position, which is the same kind of over here. That's the same over here, I think.
Yeah.
For a
Damn, if
small
Kylie
town,
didn't leave because of spoilers, I would have asked her if this is true. If this is true.
For a small town, New Jersey, Freddie Heflin, we would ask her about the island too, as well. For a small
Yeah.
town in New Jersey, Freddie Heflin would have had to be the police chief or similar rank. It may also be noted that no police officers in New Jersey wear tan uniforms. That uniform is far more likely seen out of Western states, which is true.
Mm. All right. Well, Brad, this is our third movie in our Ray Liotta month, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss it to you because I think you might have the more positive, um, you know, reaction to this film. So, Brad, what are your initial thoughts on Copland?
My initial thoughts on Copland is I'm still wondering how this movie made such such a success with the title Copland. Because that's literally the one thing I don't like about this movie the most is the title. I think it's stupid, which is why I think me or you didn't know it existed because it was literally
Yeah.
called Copland.
Well, and also, like, I don't think this movie is entirely about cops. Like,
No,
it's not
well,
really.
no. It's the area is Copland because
Yeah.
it's all lived in by cops, but they're all corrupt cops who
Yeah.
like work for the mob. The mob launders money through the financial services through there, which is what they were getting with the mortgages. So yes, so
Yeah.
technically it is Copland because all the cops moved off of New York into New Jersey. And like that's where it gets kind of confusing. If I mean, for me, it was like, okay, like I now I got to do logistics of this. Okay, these cops moved over here, and there was a lot of thinking to do it, and then Stallone's in this picture just going,
Mm.
which I didn't mind because he like that's kind of the role is
Let's
just
be
to
honest. They used Sylvester Stallone well here. They didn't
I,
really need him to do more than what he was
no,
asked to
because
do.
he's just supposed to play, the technically the stupid sheriff who got elected just because he looked the other way. And
Yeah.
he played that role well. I did like the kind of the backstory line, and they kind of hinted at it, and they actually did him diving in to save the girl and then pressing his ear against the glass, and that's how he went deaf on one side. So I did like that.
Yeah.
I like the cast. How can you not like the cast? God damn. Stallone, Keitel, Ray Liotta, De Niro. Although they didn't have De Niro in there nearly enough. De Niro was in there for like 3 scenes and probably got like $3 million out of it. Let's be real here.
I
Michael Rappaport
I
was good,
was
just running around going, "Ah, God, they found me."
yeah. Yeah, well, look, Michael Rappaport was just being Michael Rappaport, to be honest.
It's
And
true. He don't change. Like I really like the opening of this movie. I think the opening might be the best part in this movie.
yeah.
Overall, just on the bridge, and you got everybody there, and they're trying to do
Yeah.
this cover up, and then you have the one, um, you know, black EMT going, "Ah, fuck you guys."
Yeah.
I see you trying to plant shit. I mean,
Yeah.
let's like if Michael Rapport's character, what the fuck, Superboy? They fucking call him Superboy in this movie. If he had been more honest and been like, "Look, I thought it was a gun. They pointed at me, but also he didn't have to go sending 6 shots while driving."
Yeah.
Not, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
Brad, I'll go ahead and just give my initial thoughts here too. I didn't like this movie. I don't think this movie ever like really grasped my attention to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm so into this. Even though I can't pinpoint a bad performance here, I can't. No, everybody does well. Like even Ray Liotta does a really good job. Kathy Moriarty is good for what she's in. Sylvester Stallone too. He's like he's good.
I
You know,
kind
I
of
mean, he's
wonder
like
why Janine Garofalo was there. I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
weird role, but sure. But I mean, if we could say it, Ray Liotta, he kind of stole his scenes.
oh
Like
yeah,
he was
one hundred
scene
percent.
stealing throughout this
Yeah,
movie. Best parts.
yeah, and that's really what I like the most was like performances here because like storytelling wise, I don't think it was as balanced with the overall like feel of this movie because obviously Mangold wants to make like a you know gritty noir, but like it kind of doesn't feel like one because it's not as stylized as what you would think a noir would feel like. It feels like like it's a movie that's like years late, like a couple years late. And I don't know, man. I sat there and I was just like I'm waiting for the moment that this movie can really grasp me, and I just never did.
And see, I see. I'm on the opposite spectrum. I mean, I was captivated throughout this whole movie. Just it's a gangster film. That's kind of what it is with cops, and it's old school gangster. You've got on one end you got De Niro who's trying to catch the bad guy. He's not in enough scenes though. He basically just says fuck it when he can't get Stallone to do what he needs him to do. But on the other end, you got these corrupt cops who are literally going to kill a guy to shut him up for the mob, and just the violence that ensues in that. And then also you got these interweaving stories of being like, oh, this dude. So it gets all kind of like just very dramatic in that you have one guy who's sleeping with the I guess the chiefs, the police chief for that area's wife, and and she's just leaving her garbage over at the other wife's so that she knows about it. and it's just like, what the fuck is all this? Just it's just small town drama. That's really
Yeah.
what it is. Then you mix in this bit of whole mob gangster mentality, and
Yeah.
then the ending of this is also I like is where Stallone's trying to keep this. Although the writing on that portion where Stallone just comes out with him and he's not expected to get jumped by like more cops and get that dude taken away. Why they didn't just shoot him? I guess they had to drown him technically, so he'd be found in the waters. That's why they didn't shoot him right then and there. But I did like the whole where Stallone's fully deaf at this point because he has the gunshot near him, and
Yeah.
then like he can't hear anything. It just adds little elements to it because you get Stallone. Stallone looks like he's winning, and he takes one to the shoulder, and then you see Figs pop out of nowhere. Ray Liotta's character takes him out, and you're just like, holy shit! Like
Yeah.
this is kind of dope.
Yeah. And like, I wish that I would have felt that way, man, because I just kept going through this film. And to me, it just dragged so much, man, where I'm just like, why am I even caring about this? Like, why do these characters like even mean anything? Like, but there was still something that grabbed me, and honestly, it was the performances. I gotta say, the cinematography is pretty good. I really like Howard Shore's score
I
too.
got I got an issue with Shore's score though, because there is
Why?
one song, and it's a 80s 90s thing. It's one song that keeps fucking playing. It's not as bad as the Eddie Murphy movie
Oh,
we
the
watched. Yeah. But there's one song,
Axl
and
Rose.
they get away from it towards the end of the movie, but there's one song that plays in the first half of the movie over and over again, and I keep catching it. I'm just like, stop it. Like, if you're gonna make a soundtrack, not the same fucking song.
I guess it was just the curse of the 90s and the 80s because
It really is.
that's I guess that's what it was, bro.
I
Because
mean, they paid enough for it. Might as well get as much as you can out of it.
Kevin Smith used all of the Black Welcome to the Black Parade for a reason in Clerks 3.
I mean, that was legit. I don't blame him for that. If you can get away and pay for that and do it, then do
Yeah.
it. Oh, I what were the previous two movies we watched, Ro, with for
So
Ray
we
Liotta?
watched Wild Hogs and we watched Killing Them Softly. And I'll say that I think that I had more of a vested interest in Killing Them Softly, even though the story doesn't do it for me there either.
Yeah.
I think that at least it was kind of able to balance a bit of what it's trying to do with the story and the style it's trying to portray. Whereas here, I felt that this movie was just so unbalanced.
See, and I feel the opposite because I feel like Killing Them Softly is just such a shallow story. Like it didn't get very deep, and it just dragged for me. For being an hour and 44 minutes, that movie dragged. I don't even know what the hell this. What 105 minutes.
Yeah. To
So
me, it didn't feel like 105 minutes, Brad.
I mean,
Hey, sometimes we're not going to agree, Brad.
yeah.
It's fine.
Usually, like lately, we have been agreeing, which has been kind of weird because in the
Yeah.
first 3 to 4 years of us reviewing these
We were
movies,
like,
we were butting heads
yeah,
constantly.
yeah.
So I don't know if like my taste have
Yeah.
changed as I've
It's
gotten
because you
older
didn't
and
like
done
In the
this
Mood for
more.
Love, you fucker.
Got in the mood.
Look, it's because you didn't like In the Mood for Love, you fucker. That's why. That's why. No, no, I'm playing. I'm playing. Um,
It
I
could
don't give
be.
a fuck if you don't like it. It's a masterpiece to me. It's a masterpiece to me, damn it.
Well, you can't like them all. Just like Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, if Ferris does listen to this, I did go back and I listened to that podcast, and that was an amazing podcast to listen to on just the relationship of Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah. But Brad, do you have any kind of final thoughts here? I mean, I'll say
The
this that
title is dumb.
yeah,
The title is the worst part of this movie, and why I think not many other people. Also, you got Stallone front and center, which
yeah,
yeah, he's technically the lead. I, Stallone played his part perfectly though. Like that was a good role for him. Um, but like this is a month for Ray Liotta, and Ray Liotta keeps knocking him out of the park. Any role he's been in,
yeah.
he doesn't get enough
Man,
love.
bro.
He should have got more flowers when he was alive for sure.
Oh yeah. Because
But
even though the movies suck, he's still good.
he's still he which that's the creed of a great actor is even when you are given a shitty movie, you still do your best. Apparently Raul's dog is chewing. You dog chewing?
I don't know what she was chewing on, but I'm not
Ah,
trying to find out.
but
Yeah.
going back, that's the sign of a great actor is
Yeah.
someone who can be given the shittiest movie and still come out looking like roses and being like
Hmm.
he fucking knocked that out of the park.
Turn chicken shit into chicken salad. Yeah. But Brad, what is your final verdict on Copland?
I mean, I really like this movie. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really like this movie. I enjoyed it. I just don't like the title. They should have really. I don't know what they were thinking, but they made $65 million on it back in the day, so they must have, or 64 million. So
Brad, I will once again remind you, these movies don't sell like they used to.
no, and they won't. Like
No.
they won't nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unfortunate, but it's kind of like, yeah, you kind of saw that happening as CGI and bigger budgets got into it because a $15 million budget back in the day, 1997, that was pretty big.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
it's not huge, but it was pretty big.
That was a pretty big budget at the time.
Yeah, because what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was what 14 million?
I think so.
I think so, and they had the whole fucking suits and everything, and
Yeah.
but yeah, Copland, stupid name, but I think great movie, so I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Damn, Brad. Wow, this might be our biggest difference in score here.
Might be in a
Um,
while.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give Copland a 4 out of 10. It's not the biggest fan. I think that Mangold has cemented his style better. I feel like he's balanced his storytelling and stylistic abilities better, and I feel like he has become a better filmmaker since then. And this was only his second film, so
Really,
you can't really fault him too much about that. So
I'm doing the
yeah,
Nero face gimlet.
yeah. Also, yeah, De Niro's really distracting with that mustache.
Uh,
Really distracting.
luckily, he's only in the movie for like a total of 7 minutes.
Yeah, but in those 7 minutes, he is so distracting.
But I love how they put him on the cover.
Yeah. Well, you
He's
that's how
he's
you're
only
gonna
in the
sell this
movie for
movie,
7 minutes,
Brad.
but he gets front billing.
But that's how you
I
sell this
know,
movie.
I know. I mean, I'm glad Ray Liotta was there though. Like, and Keitel. Like Harvey
Yeah.
Keitel was great in this.
Talk about all of the Scorsese alums in this movie, man. I mean,
Shoo.
let's go Keitel, Leota, De Niro, fucking what's it called? Frank Vincent was in this as well. Who, if you don't remember Frank Vincent, I believe he plays the guy who gets captured in the beginning of Goodfellas.
And you had Michael Rappaport.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean,
And not
what
just
would
a Michael Rappaport, a young Michael Rappaport. It's like he had to be in his 20s.
yeah. But Brad, that concludes our review of Copland. And of course, next week is going to be our conclusion as we look at the final film in Ray Liotta month. I don't have it on me. I don't remember exactly which one it is, but I know that we're also going to be making an effort to go watch Cocaine Bear. So we want to talk about his final role, and I think the man deserves it. We what's called got to talk about it because, like I said, we've learned that even though the movies are kind of bad, he still what's it called
He still gives a great performance in each
still
of them.
gives it. Yep. Yep.
He's usually the highlight or one of the highlights of each film.
Yep. Yep. It's Hannibal. I forgot. Sorry, Ridley Scott's Hannibal. We're gonna be talking about that one. So we'll see how Ray Liotta is in that movie. But in the meantime, we want to thank you all so much for listening to this or watching this. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and leave a like on this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then click that notification bell so you don't miss a single piece of content that drops on the channel. We also want to let you know that if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please leave a 5-star review if you're allowed. I know that on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, you can drop reviews. So please do that for us. It would help us out a lot. Also, we want to thank the people who are in here chatting with us because this is live only for patrons and the public gets to listen to it a couple days later. But our only chatter today was Kylie. Thank you so much, Kylie.
Thank you, Kylie, for
Kylie
joining us.
is also a pretty special person because they are a Patreon supporter. And the Patreon supporters are the ones who make this possible because without them, this is not possible. We want to thank our producers, Shane, our legacy producer, who can be found where, Brad?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSK or on Twitter at thriftedil. Is it still thriftedil?
Yep, Thrifted.io
Uh,
on Twitter.
or okay, or you can buy something from the Suppy God at PrisonCityVintage.com.
Damn straight. And of course, we want to thank Kylie as well. Kylie is one
Hi,
of our
Kylie.
producers here. Hi, Kylie. You can find Kylie at Kylie PLI on Twitter, Kylie P Sports 90 on Instagram. Thank you so much, Kylie. And of course, that is it. But we will be back for another one. I know we have 3 episodes this week. That was because we had to talk about Quantum Mania. So make sure if you haven't listened to our review, listen or watch our review of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania, me and Luis sat down to talk about the film. And this Thursday for the public, Wednesday, hopefully, or maybe it's going to be Thursday that we do it for the patrons. We'll see how when Brad can get to the film before the weekend. We're going to be talking about the first Creed film since we are on our way to talking about Creed 3 when it comes out. And yeah, I'm excited because I really like these films, Brad. I think these movies are actually good.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
You never seen these movies?
I've
I
seen the
actually do
Rocky
like.
movies. I've seen a
Yeah,
few of the Rocky movies. I haven't seen the new Creed movies though.
no, the Creed movies are good, Brad. I'm not even like I'm not blowing smoke, bro.
I
These
don't know.
movies are
You
good.
didn't like Copland. I'm just saying.
Shut up, Brad. Tessa Thompson's in this, bro.
I
How
mean,
bad can it be?
Stallone's in it. I just love the fact that he
Name me
just ate
another.
giant pancakes to gain weight for the role.
It's fucking fantastic. Well, with that said, though, we would like to thank you all so much. We'll see you all on the next one when we review Creed. But in the meantime, Brad, let's go ahead and send them out of here.
All right, our only main host as always. Thank you to Kylie for joining us in chat today. Thank you to all our listeners out there, all our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And in this episode, don't try to, plant drugs or guns or anything and, you know, people's cars.
It's always
Just
gonna bite you in
wrong.
the ass.
Can bite you in the ass, especially if you you try to hide the person who did it. Young Yoda out.